It's Radio 2000, our music, your memories. It's always nice to be outside of the studio. And we've been invited by the Department of Science and Innovation to talk about a very interesting report. Now, today, the National Advisory Council of Innovation, an entity of the Department of Science and Innovation, is releasing the 2025 report on science, technology, and innovation indicators, which gives us a picture of the state of innovation in the country. Now, the report released annually looks at the latest available data from various public and private organizations and institutions to see how South Africa's national system of innovation is performing, and an important part of monitoring as well as evaluating how STI have contributed to the achievement of national priorities. Its findings reveal a fundamental paradox, which I'm going to speak to the Minister about. South Africa has genuine strengths in research and publication. Our universities produce world-class knowledge, and our researchers are globally recognized. Yet, these strengths are not translating into broader economic transformation. And that's why I've invited the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Nzimande, to unpack this report and what the way forward is. Baba, good morning.
Good morning, Tombi. Good morning to you and your Radio 2000 listeners. Thank you very much for inviting us here.
Let's get straight into it. What we've just outlined, which we just briefly told the listeners about, is actually quite a very important report. Please tell us about the significance of this information for the country's development, Baba.
Well, this is a very important report for the country, not just for us as a department.
That's true.
That's why, for instance, we presented it to Cabinet in December last year, so that colleagues in Cabinet, the President, are familiar with what is contained here, because it's got implications for government as a whole as well.
Yeah.
So the importance of this is that, it produces very important statistics about the state of our national system of innovation.
Yeah.
Science, technology, and innovation. But it's more than just for statistics. It's also a planning tool. It's also an indicator of where we should be putting more resources in order to be a more innovating country as South Africa. So that is the main aim. And also it's something that we would like to be understood, of course, by professionals, by scientists, by decision makers, but also by ordinary people.
Yeah.
To understand the importance of science, technology, and innovation in what we have to make it. In short, that is how I would put it, that the importance of this particular report for the country. It is really a planning mechanism. And also it's a mobilizer, is to say, for instance, like we have now, not so long ago in the past, it was the private sector that was investing in money in investment.
Yeah.
But after COVID, private sector has gone down and it's the state that is investing more in innovation. That's not healthy. Because a lot of resources are in the private sector, and also the private sector itself needs a lot of innovation to create new things, new products, and so on, in order to grow our economy. Innovation, by the way, is also important in building new industries that were not there before.
Yeah.
Given the technologies now that we have and so on. The other thing, for instance, which is we've got positives, which I hope will give you a chance to talk about.
Yeah.
The other negative at the moment is that we are, of the university graduates, only 29% are in the STEM disciplines, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But that's a reflection of our schooling system.
I was about to say.
That's where the big challenge that we have. I always say now, I'm glad that I'm in science, because now my immediate constituency is no longer your university students as such. It's your primary school and secondary school.
Yeah, the grade
where we should actually be starting this thing. Because if you look at the matric results, for example, I can't remember the actual figure now, I think it's less than 30%. Those who got mathematics and science at the required level.
Ooh, that's not good.
That is why also then the other challenge that we have is that if you look at our TVET colleges, technical vocational education and training, they are supposed to be producing artisans in the main, engineering artisans. But much as we have increased, but we are not producing enough because we are not getting kids after grade 10
Yeah.
who have got the required level of competence in STEM disciplines.
Yeah.
That is why in our TVET colleges, more than 70% they are doing public relations, they are doing human resources, We're not saying those disciplines are not needed, but not at the amount that we are actually producing. The real shortage is in engineering disciplines. Yeah.
Minister, how then do we encourage the primary school learner, the high school learner, the one that's in grade 9, going to grade 10, is choosing their subjects and is being told, but hey, it's science and maths. How then do we encourage the young ones to take on those STEM subjects?
You are right. Well, we are working closely with the Department of Basic Education on some programs, on everything, but specifically on programs to promote STEM disciplines.
Yeah.
We don't have much money, but we do make some contributions. For instance, we are contributing in some provinces, computer labs. We take a container and turn it into a computer lab.
I've seen that.
Those are some of the things through which we are actually making a contribution. We also have got what we call Maths and Science Olympiads, which are competitions, nationally, regionally, and internationally. And we're encouraging our school learners to participate in these competitions so that they measure themselves, they get exposed to others who are actually doing the same thing. I know that the Department of Basic Education is a program to increase maths teachers, maths and science teachers, for instance. All those are very important innovations. But for me, we have raised what I think perhaps is the single biggest obstacle. Science. Yes. It's historical.
Sure.
It's historical. It comes from the apartheid era. And that is why also we even now are encouraging all principals, please, don't say because you want to increase your pass rate, then you say to the kids who are doing maths, go and do maths literacy. Yes, your results may look good, but you are not helping us to produce the foundations for science, technology, and innovation. So you should not do that. Allow the kids to. I don't believe that black people are not capable of understanding maths.
I don't believe that either.
It's just not true. So we need to put more effort then into these things in order to lay the foundation. That will also even change these indicators.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's zone in on the positives, because yes, as much as there are areas of concerns, there are also areas that need to be celebrated. Let's talk a bit about the positives.
Definitely. The one positive that I'm so happy about is that for the first time in the history of our country, we have reached gender parity in terms of academics.
That's good. That's good.
It was 46% women in 2010. In 2020, by 2022, we had 52% women as academics.
Oh, wow.
Very important. Also, something that we have a challenge with, but we've done well over the last 2 years or so. Venture capital. What is venture capital? Venture capital is money by capitalists who want to invest in emerging technologies. Some investors want to invest in big companies when they are already functioning. Venture capital is very important in supporting innovation, especially in science. You need people who are going to invest,
Yeah.
because there's a challenge we are sitting with right now. That we have got more innovations. In Limpopo, for instance, there is a very interesting innovation of waterless toilets, because we don't have water as a country. We've been in an aeroplane, we use air.
Yes.
So they are actually doing an adjustment of that. But we don't have money to scale up. But what is good, the positive, is that venture capital, which is supporting new initiatives, increased from 1.1 billion rands in 2022 to 3.3 billion rands in 2023, just in one year. That's a positive sign, that at least there is an increase. The e-government index, which is the extent to which government is digitalized, is modernized in South Africa. We increased from 0.74% in 2022 to 0.86% in 2024, ranking number 2 in the BRICS countries, which is actually very important. Also in manufacturing, by the way, employment grew 1.11% since 2014. There is a downside to that positive, but the positive is that our employment in manufacturing has been increasing. Our country produces knowledge and talent, but fails to retain and embed them within the economy.
Yeah.
We're a very talented nation, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
Being a Minister of Science has even exposed me more to the amount of talent that we have as a country. Scientific articles, we are producing more. We are ranked very highly in the world. I think in the continent we are number 2 behind Egypt.
My goodness.
So those are the positive things that we actually have, which we are highlighting in this report. But the one main negative, we are producing lots of research, but it's not been translated into commercial products.
Yeah.
So that is one of the big tasks I've set for myself as a minister, that we actually need to resuscitate things we used to do before, but create new ways. For instance, universities, even if they can come together in a province, should be having some kind of innovation centers.
Oh yes, an innovation hub of some sort.
Innovation hubs. We really do need to do that, to make sure we won't do it overnight, but it's very important that we have these kinds of hubs. At the moment, the thing that I'm driving is technoparks, which are related to that. Because technoparks, they would have a university, they would have government, they would have the private sector. And it's centered around innovation. In other words, we need to create an ecosystem. We have got it, but it's still weak. An ecosystem that supports innovation so that we can harness this talent that we have.
That's it.
In South Africa. It's not only in rugby, it's not only in Amapiano, that's still our talent.
In the creative sector.
But also in the science sector.
Sciences as well.
Yes.
Minister, you've got a big task ahead of you.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of people waiting for you. And I'm going to release you right now, Baba. Thank you so much for this conversation. You've definitely given us a lot to ponder on and to think about. And we appreciate this report. And we're definitely going to break it down throughout the course of this broadcast. Baba, siyabonga.
That would be wonderful. Thanks, Tombi,
Thank
to you
you.
and the listeners.